In our worldview, in the Islamic worldview of dealing with, what they call is mental illness, right? That's what they call it nowadays. But we don't call it an illness. Everything Allah created on this earth, everything Allah created on this earth, Allah gave it a quality, especially human beings. He says in Surah Al-Rahman, كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Everyone upon this earth, every human being that is, man refers to the living and includes the jinn also. He uses the word fana, fan. Fan is something that is meant to die. Fan is something that's got a timer on it. You know, the clock is ticking on every one of us. So in a building, just like in a building, there's deterioration happening. But when deterioration happens, you blame the architect. You say, hey, this architect didn't do a good job. Look, the paint's chipping and the bricks are falling apart, etc. Or the plumbing's no good anymore. But actually, when the human being starts having issues, that's not because the architect missed something, but by design it was supposed to actually go through certain challenges. But those challenges, we should not call them flaws. They're actually tests that Allah put inside of us. Emotional ones, physical ones. Those are tests that all of us have to go through. And like one of the most beautiful expressions I found in Arabic about psychology, they say, رُبَّ قَوْلٍ أَشَدُّ مِنْ صَوْلٍ. They say perhaps words can hurt more than a beating does. They understood that words can actually have an impact on, not physically, you're not injured, you're not bleeding when somebody says mean things to you, but they can tear you down. They can make you not want to get up in the morning. Words can be enough to make somebody suicidal. It happens. Especially dealing with the subject of sadness and depression. The first word used in the Quran for sadness is al-gham. There are several words used, and the first in the Quran we find is al-gham. What did Allah describe gham with? And the study of that, how will that help me deal with someone who keeps thinking the future is bleak? Who never sees the bright side of things? Who's always looking at the glass as half empty? Someone who's pessimistic all the time, negative all the time. Don't look at the person next to you. But but you can have people like that. The next term, very popular term in the Quran, commonly used is al-huzn. Al-huzn, and the root letters for that are ha, za, and nun. And this is for one to remain unhappy or uneasy about something. You're not settled about something. It's keeping you from going to sleep. You keep worrying about something. It's actually the opposite of farah. Farah actually means you can't sleep because you're too happy. That's farah. It's the exact opposite. Now you can't sleep because you're too sad. You're too depressed. You're too worried. You keep thinking about something and it's not letting you go. Maybe you've been looking for a job for a long time. You can't find it. It's all you're thinking about. You're driving, you're thinking about it. Maybe you were, about to get married, and 2 months before the marriage, the other family said, no, we don't like you anymore. Assalamu alaikum. And you're in depression. Like I had everything set. You printed the cards. It was up on my Facebook page, and now they say that huzn is an onset. It sets into a person after an incident. Something happens, and as a result, you become depressed. You were hoping something worked out your way, and it didn't work out your way. In other words, Allah is saying, they will have no grief, they will have no fears on them, Judgment Day. Believers will have no fears on them, and it won't be they that are in a state of sadness. It's not them that are going to be in a state of sadness. What does that seem to indicate? If it's not them that are in a state of sadness, that means somebody else is going to be. The hum there actually indicates somebody else in between parentheses. That's the beauty of the Arabic language. What we're learning from that is you will have states of sadness in life, in this world. Huzn will be there. But a perpetual state of sadness is actually not for you. And whatever huzn you're going through is nothing compared to the huzn of that day. Whatever grief you're going through, whatever suffering or emotional trauma you're going through, and I'm not minimizing it in any way, but what Allah is saying is the huzn of that day is the actual huzn. It's the actual huzn.